Hi everyone, and happy International Women's Day to you all. Wherever you are around the world, we're happy to have you join us. My name is Lindsay Smith. I'm one of the publications managers here at DZone, and we're so excited to have this discussion today. We've got a lot of great stuff in store and some amazing panelists joining us who are prepared to talk about and share their experiences both as women and working with women in the tech industry. So I don't know if all of our panel is on yet, but I would love for those who are on, if you guys could maybe introduce yourself, your name, what you do, and a little bit about how you got started in the software space. That would be great. And Judy, I don't know if you want to start us off. Oh, you're on mute.
Didn't have much to say anyway. My name is Judy Johnson. I am a software engineer. I have been a software engineer for a really long time. When I was a kid, all I wanted to do was be a school teacher, but my dad was an engineer and I was very good at math, and so everybody kind of encouraged me to go in the direction of engineering. When I was in high school, I was in an Explorers, which is like a Scouts co-ed technical thing, and it was on an Air Force base, and I actually got a job in high school at minimum wage at the Air Force Base doing punch cards and paper tape and all the old school computer stuff and like manually drawing graphs. And then as I progressed, I started writing code there. I think it was Fortran. And then I went to college and got a computer science degree, and here I am. So I also, the other thing I like to do is I volunteer a lot with all age groups, little kids, middle schoolers, high schoolers, college. I have a mentorship relationship with a college student and with a lot of people I work with, and I just really want to give back. And the one thing, I know this is a later question, but what I'm most proud of about myself and my career is that I have 2 daughters, and both of them are engineers. So yeah, I'm all about it.
That's awesome. And then Bhagyashree, I think I saw you on the call as well, if you're ready to introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, hi everyone. My name is Bhagashya Nigday, and I am a software developer at Maers, AP Moller Maers, and I have been into development for the post almost 4 years now. Frankly speaking, when in high school, I had no direction of career, or I knew I wanted to go into engineering, but I was not sure as to which area or which focus I would be going into. But we had a subject in high school for IT, which taught us to make small HTML codes and other small programs, and so doing them is where I think I found my passion. So I decided to give it a try, and it has been the best decision I took related to my career so far. And I really, every time anyone asks me what career path we should take, I every time without hesitation say that follow your heart, because that is, career is something you are going to have throughout your lifetime. So there is no use if you don't like or love what you do. And yeah, so I am basically a Java full stack developer, and apart from that, I also have co-founded an NGO. It's called New Foundation. So we have just started out in 2020, right before the pandemic. So we focus on the areas of society, majorly 3, which do need our help, which are youth for education, and we also focus on job opportunities for differently abled, and then we focus on the old age folks who really do need our attention as well. So these are the 3 primary areas of focus. So I do volunteer there on weekends, and as I am also on the management committee of the NGO, I handle the internal website management and everything for the NGO as well, along with the other founders. And apart from that, I love to read, and I really don't get much of a time nowadays, but I do try to make out as much as time. And I really make sure to have at least one book on my desk, even if I don't read it for days. I just keep it on my eyesight, so whenever I have the free time, I know I can go through the papers. So yeah, that's all about me. Thank you.
Thank you. And then I don't know if Mansi is on the call yet. I think she might have had to join a bit later. I don't see her. So, and then our special guest on the panel is Alireza. Alireza, if you want to briefly introduce yourself and talk a little bit about yourself, that'd be great.
Yeah, of course. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for having me today. Happy Women's Day, first of all. And yeah, I have been part of DZone, I think, since 2018. I'm a DevOps engineer and has been doing software development around 20 years. And I'm one of the persons who believes that there is a gender inequality in the IT industry. And what I'm really trying to do time to time on my daily life is to increase the awareness between people, between my colleagues, everyone who I am working to see if we can actually change this. And hopefully we can have some nice discussion today, and that would be useful for people as well.
Awesome. Thank you. So,
Thank you.
and Blake just mentioned in the chat, but Mansi will be joining us a little bit later, so we'll introduce her once she joins. But we're going to go ahead and get into the discussion. So the way this is going to work is we've prepared a list of questions, and for the sake of time, we're going to have one person from the panel maybe just sort of start us off, and then have about 2, maybe 3 minutes to have an open discussion. We'd love for anyone who has some stuff to contribute to, please do so. And if we go a little over time, that's okay, but we're going to try to keep those discussions around 2 to 3 minutes. So yeah, so the first question that we have is, what do you wish you could change within your corporate environment? And I don't know who wants to start us off.
I guess. I mean, I guess I can. I actually have a pretty good environment where I work, but some of the things I think that I have noticed that people might change is I think people need, in general, not only women, but need more encouragement and appreciation. I'm a very touchy-feely, emotional kind of a person, and I would actually rather somebody send me an email and say thank you than send me a $25 Amazon gift card. You know, I feel like I personally, you know, as a human, feel that way. So that's one thing that I notice. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything else. So hopefully.
Yeah, Bhagyashree, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I would nowadays, comparatively, my experience has been pretty limited. I have been lucky to have an excellent work environment where we had the encouragements. But one thing I would like to mention is we also need to focus on learning. Being in a technology field, every day we see there are changes, there are versions, releases that come out with new features, and we are so wrapped up in the tasks and the deliverables that we really don't get the enough ample time to actually take a look at it and develop. So that is something that I think is really important, not just for women in tech, for everyone in tech. This is something that is important.
Awesome, thank you. All right. And then sort of to go into that a little bit, what are some of the main challenges you face in your current position?
I feel like I feel like every time I start a new project or meet a new person, that I'm starting all over again, and I'm having a new interview, and I have to prove myself. And I think you know, I don't feel like I mean, it's not with everybody now, but there have been situations in which, you know, somebody recommends me to work on something or do something, and who are you? What do you know? You know, and I'm not sure that men get that same questioning, or maybe any newcomers. You know, there's age and gender and race and all of those underrepresented people. Just, you can't just drop them in without them being kind of examined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good point. The sort of proving yourself mentality, and you know, we all deserve to be here. We all deserve a seat at the table, but it's definitely that feeling of getting introduced and getting started on things. I definitely see that. Does anybody else have stuff they want to add to that?
Yeah, actually, I think that that's a problem also for men, because yeah, since last year I moved to several companies and I found the situation. I think it's a trust issue. Every time you start working with a new environment, new people. Yeah, I could tell you the first couple of weeks it's a really difficult because it's about how you can prove yourself. But I could tell you this situation for women, it's getting even worse because there is already the bad assumption about that. So they already think sometimes that you feel that the people think that, okay, the women's the level of knowledge definitely is lower than men, which is not true. And yeah, I think that that's really something we need to address and to change to see how we can actually not having those assumptions upfront and yeah, just try to see the people as who they are, not without any assumption, any biased approach. And yeah.
Awesome, thank you. And then I think our last panelist, Mansi, has joined us. Would you like to say a few words, introduce yourself? We can take a moment.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Happy Women's Day, first of all, to all the lovely ladies out here. Okay, well, this is Mansi. I am a software developer. I have started my career in software development like in last year, January 2020. So yeah, it's going pretty well since then. And so this is just my message to all the women out there that we like if we fix our mind on something, if we are determined to do something, if we have that much willpower, then there is nothing which a man can do better than a woman. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. If we have that much willpower, if we gather that much of like that much amount of courage and just go for it, then yeah, definitely. I don't think that there's anything that a man can do better than a woman. So yeah, so this is what I believe in. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We're so happy to have you join us. And
yeah, likewise.
Yeah, and we've gone through about 2 questions, and we were just about to move on to our next one. So, what skills have you all found to be essential for success in your occupation?
Okay, so well, apart from any kind of technical skill, I would say that definitely the leadership, like leadership is my topmost skill that I have acquired in myself. That definitely I gained through experience, but yeah, it's very important so that you can firmly put your you can firmly put your opinions in anything without any kind of hesitation or anything, and you can of course you can you can lead a whole team, even forget about if you have males or females or anyone there is, you can simply lead the whole team with that kind of courage. So yeah, leadership, there definitely one skill. And the other would be, I would say, communication. We should definitely have a great communication to express our views, and definitely we should have that much good hearing power also, so that we can hear others' opinions as well, and we can understand them, what they're trying to say, what they're trying to convey. So yeah, definitely it's communication and leadership. Yes.
Thank you. Does anybody want to add to that? All right, we can move on to the next question. So what have you found are your favorite sources of inspiration? This could be something as simple as a podcast or something deeper, but I would love to hear from you all as to what those might be.
I feel like I'm inspired most by other people. So many of my peers and my friends have done just so many great things. And I think it's kind of cool. I was at a talk where they were talking about role models. And, you know, I think everybody a lot of people would aspire to be like the CEO or, you know, a big shot or the president or whatever. But I think it's really important that you have role models that are your peers or just close to where you are in your career, because that kind of shows what you can do and what the next steps are. So I'm surrounded by amazing people, and I just, every day I'm excited to hear what everybody's up to. So, and also the kids that I work with, like the college students that I mentor and the high school and middle school kids, they're just like you're thinking, I wasn't anywhere near that smart when I was that age, you know, or resourceful or talented. So it's just really nice to get inspiration from everybody around you.
I think that's so true. And my team at DZone, our team is entirely women. And I think I get so much inspiration from them, just working around them. They're all just really amazing, strong women. So yeah, I love that. That's such a great one.
Yeah, Lindsay, I would like to add to that. So the primary, the motivation which we get, as we say, charity begins at home. So for me, my motivation, the role model has been my mother, as she has always pushed me. I completed my post-graduation along with my job. So at many times I was on the brink of giving up, because multitasking at that level, completing all the assignments, and I completed a full-time course. So there was no excuse either way. So I came to giving up so many times, but she kept on pushing, just a little more, just this day, go through the next day. And that is what kept me going. And I'm really, really glad she did that. So yeah, whenever I think of giving the credit to anyone, that's her.
Great, thank you. And then this next one I think is really interesting. Have any of you had or ever been a mentor? And what are some of the valuable outcomes or insight that you've gained from that experience?
Well, I think I've mentioned it so many times already, but when I was just coming out of college, like nobody talked about mentors. It wasn't really a thing. But I always had people that I admired, and they were always people that they were not necessarily people that did what I did. You know, I had a coworker who was a lawyer, and you know, an electrical engineer when I was writing the code, and he was doing the hardware, and all these people I've learned all the different skills from. And now with all the mentorships I have, I feel like I'm learning as much from the people that I mentor them as they are from me. And yeah, it's definitely a two-way street, and it's really nice. It can be technical help, you know, what should I do, what training do you think I should have, what language should I learn next, and it can be something as simple as a shoulder to cry on or something like that, or you know, let me tell you about my job interview last week, you know, with the kids and the summer internships coming up. It's just really fun to hear about. So it's definitely a fulfilling role.
Awesome. Anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah, I think this is one of the maybe the big missing part in our side. We really need to spend some time on that. I think anyone, because I had a short experience. I think 2 years ago to be a mentor. For a while, we were hiring so many people, and we really needed to get them up to speed. And I remember to become a mentor, actually, I had to spend quite time to, first of all, create a kind of plan, what we are going to do it in the knowledge transfer. And I think that's also interesting part of the being a mentor, because first of all, you get the quiet knowledge, and then you start transferring that knowledge to someone else. And then after that, you get also feedback based on that. So this creates a kind of feedback loop. And I think after doing a couple of times, it makes you quite good in that area. And at the same time, it improves your communication when you want to and transfer that knowledge to other people. So, I mean, it's a really beneficial thing for who is become a mentor or who also gets that. So I definitely recommend people to do that, start doing that.
Great, awesome. And then the next question, what are some common misconceptions that people have, and how can we combat these misconceptions? And sort of one of the skills we talked about earlier, how can we communicate more effectively?
Nobody else going to say
No.
anything? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
No,
go ahead. Yeah.
that's actually something I noticed, not related to me, but related to for a few of my colleagues. It was not that bad, but it was slight. So whenever women come back from maternity leaves or any such family-related, this is specifically for the women in tech area. So whenever they come back from such part of their life, it is they are looked upon as they will not be able to give their 100%, or their attention will be diverted between family and work, and there is a slight bias which is still there, and it is sad. But instead of supporting, I have seen a few lose a few opportunities, which is very unfortunate. So that is something I would really like to change and to be addressed. And there is a positive change which I see right now in organizations, but it's still in progress, and hopefully we'll be at a stage where nothing will matter except the talent and the skill of a person, not even gender.
Great, thank you. Does anyone else want to add to that? All right, we can move on. So I'd love to hear from all of you as to what you're most proud about in your career so far. And I think, Judy, you talked about having both of your daughters as engineers as one thing, but I'd love to hear anything else from all of you. Just what are you most proud of?
Well, I would like to add something. For example, I would like to talk about myself. Like I'm just 22 right now, and I have been a mentor. Plus, I have achieved few awards in my company, and I was the youngest star performer in my company this year. So this is something that I'm very much proud of. That age does not definitely does not define you at all. It's the work that you put into. Like it's the work that defines you. So there were many candidates, like all of them were so much experience, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and I was just like 1 year and 1 year experience girl, and still trying to learn things, right? So the amount of work I'm not just trying to brag, it's the amount of work that I did. I don't know. They appreciated it. They recognized it. So that was really a proudest moment for me, because I never thought that I would be competing with such experienced people, but I did, and I won. So yeah, that's one thing. So yeah, the concluding statement would be that the age or the experience doesn't define you. It's the work that you do, and it's the hard work, and it definitely pays off. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you. I love that. I love that a lot. Does anyone else want to share? No one? Okay, move on. So this is another one, you know, as you go out throughout your career, you know, one thing that I think DZone is very big on is, you know, how can we continue to learn? And one question that we had was, how do you motivate yourself to continue learning?
Well, I feel like, yes, DZone has definitely helped. DZone is one of like, I feel like I get like 80 emails a day with different, DevOps emails, DevOps news and technical news and, women in tech news and stuff like that. And I actually kind of skim them all. And I obviously can't read everything that's referred to, but definitely stuff catches my eye, and I'll kind of go off on a tangent, and I'll read an article that interests me, and I'll kind of dig deeper into that. And then just trying to keep up with what you're doing every day. I mean, you really can't, you just can't sit and watch. You have to, participate in the whole learning skill set.
Yeah, that's so true. That's great. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I would like to add something, because although we are getting a lot of emails, I think the downside is also when it becomes a lot, then You cannot keep up with learning because you open one email, then you drag to other meeting, then you drag to other places. What I really suggest is to see how we can get the foundation knowledge. Because, you know, learning one new tool, it's also nice, it's good to do that, but also learn the knowledge, foundation knowledge is more important to me. I mean, most of the companies these days, when they are doing the interview, the situation is there are a lot of people having the technical skills, but when they ask critical questions in the interview, not everyone can have a proper answer for that, just because they don't know that part of the knowledge deeply. They just know something from everything, you know. It's good to avoid from just knowing a little bit from a lot of things. Just have a focus, try to find some focus area, and try to see how you can be good at it. For example, even if you are looking to the DZone has millions of pages, but doesn't mean that we have to learn agile, we have to learn artificial intelligence, we have to learn DevOps. Let's see what is your actually goal for the future, for coming months. And based on that, just try to focus on something, and that on that area, try to go in depth. I think that's something I suggest.
Thank you. That's really, really good advice. I love that. Anyone else? All right. So next question is, what do you think we could change in order to attract more women to tech?
So I believe that we need to stop creating events and doing things specifically for women, because sometimes it doesn't really help in a way we want. But in the other side, I think we need to see how we can provide the same opportunities for people and remove the biased mindset. For example, if there is a hiring procedure, there are people applied for a job, for a DevOps engineer role. For example, there are 5 men, there are 3 women also. We don't look at it from the gender base. We just look at to the skills and just we hire people. So, I mean, it's important to provide the same opportunities for people, you know. It's really important. But if we just see it as a fact that we're always trying to see them as the part of the society, needs a lot of learning, needs a lot of attention, I think part of the problem is that we didn't really recognize them. We didn't see them. We need just to start seeing them, giving them the same opportunities as provided to men. And then you can see that they can be they can be a part of the group team working, same as other people.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, when I was talking to Alireza over the weekend, and they've done studies about what he was saying about resumes and excuse me, job applications, and if you take the names out, then you get different results than if you keep the names in. So people do have kind of and I'm not sure that's a response to this specific question, but to get women into tech is one thing. Making sure they have the same opportunities, and then keeping women in tech by being inclusive and by making them feel wanted when they're in your office, and there are so many things, women kind of, sometimes, not always, women feel like they have a little extra responsibility because they need to represent all women, and sometimes they, drag you out for a photograph or a speaking thing so that you represent your company and it looks like they're all women friendly. And again, not everybody's like that. My company is very good that way. But making sure that like women are just people, right? We're all just people. So, but I think that maintaining is as important or even more important than attracting women to start with, because especially, as she was saying, when women have babies and they come back, there are a lot of distractions, but there's flexibility that can allow them, us to function the same way as other people. We can all be as productive maybe during different hours of the day, or have special plans. So I think that it's doable.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to share a few that were shared in the chat. One from Mike is to find allies to help support and promote women in tech. I love that. And then Hayata shared never gender stereotyping as a parent, which love that too. Thank you guys. Did anyone, I think this will be our last question since we've gone over. So did anybody want to add any final comments or feedback on this question or any others? All right. Well, first I just want to say thank you so much to all the panelists who joined and for your great insight. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us today and to share your experiences and open up with us. I think this was so helpful and inspiring and just a great way to celebrate women around the world. And if I may, I wanted to share a quote to kind of close this out that I found. I love quotes and I just think they're really uplifting and inspiring. This one is from Mulalu Yousafzai, and it's, I raise up my voice, not so that I can shout, but so that without a voice, so that those without a voice can be heard. We cannot all succeed when half of us are held back. And I just love this quote because I feel like it's so true. We can't just lift up a few, we need to lift up all of us. And so I hope that brings some inspiration like it brought me. And I hope you all gain some great perspective and inspiration from this panel. We will be sending out a list later today with additional resources and information and groups and things that were shared by the panel. So please stay tuned for that. And lastly, I want to encourage you all to check out the DZone homepage today. We've actually featured some articles from the panelists as well as other women on DZone.com. So you don't want to miss that. Definitely go check it out. And just thank you again to everyone who joined. This has been so great and I hope you all have a great week.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so
Happy
much.
Women's Day
Thank
to
you.
all again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.